Welcome back guys. So our new anime begins on a bloody moon night where our protagonist is on a killing spree, and yet, even after killing all the monsters, he was still bloodthirsty for the kill. But it's just a trailer of our protagonist's power. For now let's start with the present. A merchant had a bad luck that he ran into those goblins. But luckily some adventurer got there and started to kill each and every one of those abomination, and while they were busy for the kill, our protagonist, Fate, was on guard duty at the gate. He was starving and had no money, and in the meantime those goblins that these adventurers got earned them a nice loot. Fate hears their conversation and gets depressed that he's not strong enough to kill even a single goblin, all thanks to his stomach that never stops growling for food. His stats had this unique but useless skill of gluttony that made him this weak. Then, another day was at the end, and there those high horse holy knights were passing through. They were from the Vlarik family and had a bad reputation. Right then, a ball got to one of them and the man came in to apologize to Hato. But Hato kicks off that guy badly and this bitch started to show off their holy knight title to look down on those folks, but there Raphael tells Hato and Memel to stop that and move on. And others can't help but endure the wretchedness of those three siblings. Then the three sinners gets to Fate. It was their duty to guard the gate and yet they dumped it on Fate to goof off. So Raphael then threw some bronze coins to Fate for doing his job and told him to pick it. It was a matter of living, so Fate did as they told. But then Hato intentionally stomps on his hand to look down on him. They think Fate is filthy because his stomach always growls endlessly, and for that filthiness Hato beats him up brutally. Fate was a servant of their so-called Velric family. They were flaunting too much because they had some useful skill while Fate didn't have any skills, so Hato started stomping on Fate again. But Roxy stopped them and told them to respect whatever job a person does, even if it's guarding a gate. But Raphael told Roxy that this type of treatment is necessary to show the difference between have-nots, a word for those who don't have any skills. But for now they leaves and Roxy picks up Fate. She wipes off blood from Fate's face, and then she takes Fate's place as a guard and tells him to inform her if this ever happens again. Girl was literally worried for the guy, and Fate can't forget about her. But he decides not to tell Roxy anything to avoid getting her into trouble. But their barkeeper tells Fate to find a new job or if this keeps up he will die for sure in no time. Fair remembered what he said, but even after filling in he's still hungry. And started to wish to have a decent skill, like others, but then he saw a few thieves crossing the wall, so Fate immediately tells about them to Roxy. So she left her guard duty to Fate and goes after those thieves. Then the clashing of their sword got silent after a fight and then a thief comes out injured. Fate got scared and thought of running away, but he realized Roxy left him in charge of gate because she believed in him, so Fate turns back and with spear he kills the guy himself. Then suddenly his gluttony skills got activated and increased his stats into 3 digits. Fate was in a shock, but there Roxy comes back. She holds his hand and worries and Fate started to hear what she was thinking. She was really worried for him and Fate saw he acquired a new skill, telepathy. Then Roxy wanted to report this to her superiors, so Fate told Roxy to take all the credit because if she report that he killed the thief, then Raphael will bully him even more. So Roxy got an idea to reward him. She told Fate to join and serve her heart family and leave that wretched Velric family. Fate doesn't want to say no to her beautiful face, but he was worried about the one who would replace him, so Roxy told him to put that thought aside because it won't be his responsibility. So Fate agrees in the end and heads home, where he got telepathy skill with which he could read anyone's mind if someone touches him, and the second skill was to identify. His stats had risen so Fate was confident he could kill at least one monster with it, so he heads to a weapon stall to get a weapon, but he didn't have enough money. So the shopkeep told him to pick up the trash that's in the barrel. So Fate checks out a few sword with his identify skill, but each and single one was trash. But the black sword he picked up was different, it talked to him, so Fate looks around if it's really the sword that just talked, and after confirming, the sword told Fate to buy him and he won't regret it, so Fate goes with his advice and bought him. But on the other side Memel tells Raphael that Roxy is going to snatch Fate from them to let him join their heart family, but Raphael told her to chill out because they have many others to replace Fate. And more so Velric and Heart are one of the 5 great families of the kingdom, so there would be no point in complaining. Then Raphael gets up to go to the military district. There Memel saw him interested in something, so Raphael tells Memel he's finding a way to become an immortal and Memel thought his brother was joking. As for Fate, he goes to the outskirts of the kingdom and the sword told him to look out for the attack. By the way, that sword's name is Greed, and their greed knew if there is one goblin, then there's 100 in the surrounding, so Fate fight them and kills them one by one, and his gluttony skills kept increasing his stats at an unbelievable pace, and after killing that many goblins, for the first time, Fate wasn't hungry anymore, which was a surprise. Their greed told him to thank his gluttony skill for this, because it eats away his experience level to make him stronger. Unlike normal guys who need experience level to level up, but this gluttony skill defies the very law of the gods, so it would be wise to keep this skill secret from others. So Fate thought of fighting alone from now on and thinks to head back home, but Greed told him to collect the goblins' remains first. Then Fate exchanges all of his loot and gets decent amount of money, so he wanted to eat meat for his dinner, but Greed told him to do some maintenance on him first. But there he stumbled upon a man who was taking away a girl. She touched Fate and heard that she wants help, so Fate saw his stats and the man had conceal ability, meaning he could have some hidden killer skills, but Fate had decided to save the poor girl and followed the guy. There he heard that man wanted to sell that little girl to holy knights, because they wants to have young girls to play around. Fate can't take it anymore, but Greed warned him for the last time because that guy was strong as well as dangerous. But Fate has made up his mind to save the girl from him. But before the action starts, our first episode comes to an end, but stay tuned to watch more of this anime. Till then, subscribe the channel to watch more of the newly aired anime in my channel.